guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today it's Vlogmas day 4 and I'm going to be talking to you all about my November favourites. So I have 5 favourites to talk to you about today, so let's jump in. The first favourite that I want to talk to you about today is this. This is a bottle of The Body Shop's White Musk Le. Not very good at pronouncing things in French. I went to a Body Shop party a few weeks ago now, and it was more orientated towards buying presents for Christmas and things like that, which I did actually do, but I also bought a few things for myself. And I don't know about you guys, but if you live in the UK and you, I don't know, are sort of around my age, you may remember going into Body Shop as a teenager and kind of sampling the perfumes that they had in store, and they used to have like those droppers in them, and I distinctly remember walking around the Body Shop and kind of sniffing all of these droppers and things like that. And I seem to remember having some sort of a bottle of Body Shop perfume at the time, but I've always associated Body Shop perfume with being, I don't know, a little bit cheap and maybe a little bit nasty, like that kind of idea. However, at this Body Shop party, they had different samples of some of the Body Shop perfumes, and they had a sample of this one, and I smelt it and it smells amazing. So it's obviously very musky, but it's quite light at the same time. It smells almost a little bit fruity as well. So I bought a bottle of it just because I thought, well, this would be the perfect daytime perfume. I'm somebody who in the past I have tended to wear quite expensive perfumes to work and things like that, and then I was sort of having a chat with my friend at the party, and we were talking about the fact that you know, what perfumes we wear and stuff like that, and she was saying that, oh, I just tend to wear a sort of a cheaper perfume during the day at work, so that, and then I save my more expensive perfumes for special occasions and going out at night and going on date night and the weekends and things like that. And I'd never really thought about it like that before, so I decided to get myself a bottle of this. And I'm so glad that I did. I've been wearing it every day to work, and it is so light but fragrant at the same time. It's not the kind of perfume that I can smell after you know, quite some time of having it on, so it's not going to be, you know, it's not reaching the upper echelons of the really expensive good quality perfumes, but I think it's the perfect daytime perfume. This is a 30ml bottle. I think it cost me something like £12. I will leave a link to it in the description box down below so you can go and check it out for yourself. But yeah, I've been absolutely loving that, and that kind of idea of wearing a bit of a cheaper perfume to work really appeals to me, and it might appeal to you too. Another item that I want to talk to you about today is this brow pencil. So this is the Maybelline Brow Satin Smoothing Duo Pencil and Filling Powder, and I've recently got back into using this. I've been using my Benefit Brow, I think it is, it's the little pomade pot, for quite some time now. I think I got some of it for Valentine's Day this year, so I've been using it for a number of months, and a few weeks ago I was kind of inspired to dig through my makeup drawer a little bit and see what I hadn't been using for a little while, and this popped up, and I absolutely adored this. Before I started using the Benefit Brow, I used this every single day, and I popped it out, and so I started using it again. I've been using it every day since. So at one end it's got this sort of pencil-y bit that pops up and down, and then at the other end it's got, just pop this off, here we go, it's got a sort of spongy bit with the powder bit on it. I don't tend to use the powder that much, I tend to stick with the pencil, but it's really good at, oh god, I've dropped it, there we go, but it's really good at filling in any gaps that I have in my eyebrows and creating the shape that I want. I have it in the dark brown. I do this in different shades, and I think I've tended to stick to the dark brown just because that's the natural colour of my eyebrows. They are quite dark, definitely compared to my hair anyway, and if I wore anything lighter it just wouldn't look right. So but this is a really easy pencil to use. Sometimes I find with the proper pencils they're a bit too harsh on my skin, and they don't give me the effect that I'm after, but this is a much sort of crayon-y type pencil, and I'm really enjoying using that again. And because it's Maybelline, it's not that expensive. I think it was something around the £5 or £6 mark. My favourite book of November was probably Harry Potter: A History of Magic. I talked about this in one of my weekly reads videos a couple of weeks ago now, but this is a non-fiction book that I listened to as part of my library's audiobook service, and it's narrated by Natalie Dormer, and it's the accompanying book to the exhibition that was put on at the British Library earlier on this year, and I really enjoyed listening to it. There were lots of really interesting snippets, so there were something like 20 chapters or so, and each chapter focused around a different area or a different sort of lesson that Harry and the students at Hogwarts learn. So it was like care of magical creatures and defence against the dark arts, and they had like part 1 and part 2 and things like that, and they would just give you little snippets of whereabouts people got their ideas from when it came to, you know, magic and different things, and, you know, fantastical systems and things like that, and where J.K. Rowling might have got her inspiration from. And it was really interesting listening to the different snippets, and I also enjoyed listening to the audiobook narrators, so Stephen Fry and Jim Dale, talk about where they got their inspiration for creating particular characters and bringing them to life, that sort of thing. And they had different experts from the British Library and from the New York Historical Society who would come on and talk about different documents that they had in those particular places, and what the documents were all about and what they might have been used for, and the history behind them and things like that. And it was just absolutely fascinating. So if you're looking for a non-fiction audiobook, or you're a Harry Potter fan, then I would definitely recommend listening to that. I wanted to also talk about another audio show, and I listened to this one in August, but I didn't talk about it on a favourites video, and I've had it downloaded on my Audible account for ages now, so I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to share it with you. So Audible did this service where if you're a subscriber to Audible, then you can download free audio shows from them which they produce, and there are tons that you can choose from, and I've got loads on my phone at the moment that I haven't listened to, but the one I listened to in August was called Damned Spot, and there were, I think, 3 episodes to it, and each episode focused around a particular place in America that was affected by a big event that had happened. So for example, they talked about a McDonald's in one episode where they had a shooter come in one day and kill an awful lot of people in that particular McDonald's, and they talked about a couple of other places which I can't remember off the top of my head now. But the whole premise behind the show was, how does an event like that affect a place, and what are the lasting effects of it? And they interviewed lots of different people who lived in those places, and they talked about what was happening at the time that that event took place, and then subsequently what had happened later, and it was just really, really interesting. So if you are a true crime fan, then I would definitely recommend listening to this particular audio show. Each episode was about 30 minutes. It's not really a great investment in terms of your time, but obviously you have to be an Audible member in order to get that for free. I have a link in the description bar down below where you can get a free 30-day trial if you click on that link. So again, if you go down there, if you're not a member and you're thinking about trying it out, then have a look at that little link. I would really recommend that audio show. And the last favourite that I want to talk about today is a TV show that I've been watching. I know, shock horror, I've actually been watching TV, but every year when November comes around, it's I'm a Celebrity time, and I'm sure those of you that, even those of you that don't live in the UK, will know what I'm a Celebrity is, but in case you don't, the show's called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and it's a reality TV show where they throw 11 or 12 celebrities into the jungle in Australia, and they have to survive there basically, and they have to do trials every day to earn stars, which are meals for camp, otherwise they exist on rice and beans. and they don't have a particularly pleasant existence while they're in there. And I have followed this show since the very beginning of its existence, so I can't remember if I've watched the very first series, but I certainly followed it from very, very early on. And I remember watching it with my mum when I still lived at home, and I remember saying to her, you've got to watch this, and she's just so hilarious when she's watching TV. She will absolutely be in hysterics over stuff, and she just loves the show now too. And I've continued to watch it when I've been living in my own house too. Stefan and I watch it religiously every evening. We do watch it on catch up, so we tend to watch it the day after the episode has aired, but I just absolutely love the show. So there are some great celebrities in it this year. Harry Redknapp is my favourite. He's just got so many funny stories to tell, and he's just he reminds me of my parents because he comes from the East End of London, and he tells stories about having been brought up there and things like that, and he's such a legend. So I love all of the banter that you get in there. I love watching the really like disgusting and scary trials that they have, and yeah, it's just really, really lovely show. So if you live in the UK, I would definitely recommend that, but also yeah, I'm pretty sure that they do different versions of that all over the world, so I've really been enjoying that again this month. And although I don't watch a lot of TV now, I kind of have to watch that show. So there you go guys, they are 5 favourites from the month of November. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below about anything that I've talked about in today's video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.